Future Africa is the University of Pretoria's new flagship research institute. The Pan-African platform aims to transform the world through African research excellence. Joining me now is the university's Vice Principal for Research and Postgraduate Education, that's Professor Stephanie Burton. She's in Pretoria for us this morning. Prof, a very good morning to you. It sounds like quite a task, changing the world through research. Explain to us what exactly that means. What are the intentions of this program?
Good morning and thank you. The intention of the program is to establish a Pan-African platform and a community of scholars so that we can address challenges that Africa is facing in a collaborative way using transdisciplinary approaches and bringing into that our students and our communities so that we can work together to solve Africa's problems.
Well, explain to us what transdisciplinary processes or solutions actually are.
Transdisciplinary processes are those where you take a look at what the problem or the challenge is that you need to address, and then you bring together experts and scholars and also members of the community, the broad community, to co-create, work together to create a way to address the problem. So you don't have experts in particular disciplines working in their own silos. You bring people together as a team, you take a team approach, and you make sure that you address a very broad range of questions that will help you to solve that problem.
Well, I see here that there are 3 programs that are aimed at a new leadership in the sciences. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So those are leadership programs which we've implemented in order to ensure that Africa has a cohort of scientists who can lead the research that needs to be done. Leadership requires innovation, it requires foresight, forward-looking approaches, and it's not something that necessarily just develops, but the people who need to lead science in Africa need to understand how they can bring people together and enable the research that needs to be done and to bring together the communities, including students, and bring everybody forward so that as the research is being done, there are leaders who can communicate it, who can explain it, and who can ensure that we follow the path of reaching a solution.
Because as we see, as much as South Africa has been seen as the leader on the continent, we see so much coming out of the elsewhere of Africa that could teach us a thing or two, or even more than that.
Indeed. Africa is obviously a very large continent. There are very many institutions, universities and other institutions which are able to contribute to that. And one of our approaches is to invite scholars from all of those different institutions in our networks to work together. So Future Africa is a base, we call it a hub for African scholars. It's a place where people can come to work together in teams from across Africa. And that way we hope to draw on all of those networks of expertise, all of those resources that the continent has to offer.
Okay, so just give us some idea, if you can, what you started working on as your first order of business in this program.
So there are 2 ways of answering that question. One is to look at the example that you used of leadership and developing what we call innovative leadership, making sure that we have people ready to work. And we have many cross-cutting approaches of that sort. But then we also have a number of research areas. They all come under what you might call an umbrella, focusing on sustainability and equity. And within that, we have a number of broad research programs which will address some of the key issues such as health, such as productivity in Africa, and such as education. And within those programs we will bring together teams who bring expertise from the disciplines which are relevant, and those teams will work together to address those challenges as what we call research themes.
Well, I see you've invited all sectors of society to partner with you to unlock the potential of Africa, as you put it. Very quickly for us, who are you looking to work with? Who can join you, and who are you hoping is going to join you?
Well, obviously other institutions who conduct research and who conduct tertiary education, but in addition to that we need to partner with private business, with industry, and particularly with the policymakers and the government departments who are part of the policy making. Because this is not simply an academic exercise. This is an exercise in addressing the future of Africa and creating a better future for Africa. So the stakeholders include all of those members of the community. We also would look, in any particular case, at who the community members are who are going to be part of the solution as well as part of the problem. And in many cases, that is in fact the people who are living with us and around us.
Okay, well, I wish you all the luck. Thank you very much. That's the University of Pretoria's Vice Principal for Research and Postgraduate Education, Professor Stephanie Burton.